Hi there. My name's Emilio Tirado. That's right, the handsome fool on the left. And last year, I golfed my way across the country and went to a new golf course in every town I stopped at, got paired up with strangers, and found it to be a pretty great way of making friends. It was awesome, and it gave me time to think. I even got my second hole-in-one. My first one was in New York. Sure, it was only 85 yards on a par 3 course, and I was hammered drunk, but it still counts. I started watching shows like Comedians in Cars Getting Coffee with Jerry Seinfeld, and Fuck, That's Delicious with Action Bronson. 2 shows built on passionate, personable hosts having niche experiences with their guests and creating a live experience the viewer wants to join. And that got me thinking. Golf needs a show like that. The guests could be anyone interesting who likes golf, but getting the right host is the hard part, as most funny guys aren't very good golfers, and the great golfers don't tend to be that funny, especially when they try. You would either need a name or a new face with a good story. That's me in high school, where I grew up as a proud Puerto Rican from the small fishing village of Little Rock, Arkansas. Pig Zooey, baby. I was a pretty good golfer, but was better in the theater. So after high school and a year at State, I moved to New York City to get serious and go to acting school. I know, right? But the school had a big name at the time, with lots of famous graduates. So when we 26 freshmen were told we had been chosen from 2,000 applicants, it seemed like a good idea. After working 100 hours a week for 4 years, training in acting, voice, speech, clowning, and my best subject, dance, plus a whole lot of drinking, this was turned into this. And these 26 freshmen were cut down to 16 of New York City's most classically trained waiters. I was a hell of a waiter, though, known for my birthday song. Happy birthday to... I might also be the only student in program history to get cut from the program, fight its way back in, graduate, and make the entire school change their grading system. So you could say I have a way with people. I spent my 20s doing some good and some bad theater on some big and some small stages. I got into directing and tried to start an experimental sketch comedy group.
I lost my wife, my children, and most of my real teeth to my alcoholism. So I don't drink anymore. But when I do, it's Tecate.
It got pretty experimental.
People say I have a temper.
In 2015, I finally got an agent, landed a big-time show, saw my name in the New York Times, and even funded my first screenplay.
And what's so special about that funnel?
I don't need your help, Bill.
No, of course not.
And so obviously, I moved back home to Arkansas to live with the folks. Sounds crazy, but Mom was sick and getting worse. So I went home for a year to help out, and that turned into 3. I spent those years bartending in honky-tonks like this one. This is actually a bar-approved game called Bottle Toss. I should know, I was the bartender. I did some drinking with Mom, cooking with Dad, and telling lots of bedtime stories for nephews.
Dance slowly. Dance slow. And it made him dance fast.
I also did some guest spots on a TV show that none of you watched, but most importantly, I started working for a local golf course, behind the bar, of course. They let me shoot a film there.
No one hears me calling as it pulls me in.
And they let me start playing an insane amount of golf every day for 2 years. And I started imagining a show that combined competitive golf with real moments of humanity. I imagined bringing tour pros, guys working to get on the tour, old sandbaggers, and everything in between out on the course for some real talk, some real golf, and real fun. I imagined side bets, shot challenges, and getting deep into conversation over beers at the 19th hole, and more. If all that sounds fun to you, then I say, let's go golfing, y'all.